And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault and it is Adrian Chenault, and we have got a show for you today. I have been so pumped up about this; it's unbelievable. And Adrian, what do you think? How you doing, buddy?
I am great. I have been looking forward to this too. It is my long lost friend and somebody who I love and haven't gotten to chat with in a long time. So we're gonna have a good one.
She is a class act, and I have known her for I've known of her for a long time, but I have worked side by side with her for 16 years. And that is a long time to put up with Tom Chenault. So all of you that know me know how hard that would. So you got to give the woman the Congressional Medal of Honor for just that. She's married to this guy named Raymond Brown. They live in Sugarland, Texas. They are absolutely at the top of their game in corporate America, executive coaching, as well as in network marketing. And because of this season that we're going through right now with AI displacing so many people all over the country, we had to get her on. She wrote a terrific book, Aha Moments, that you have to buy. We'll put that up. You're going to love it. It's all about that, just personal development, unbelievable stories. I read it. I loved it. Why are you looking at me like that?
I just sweet adoration, Father.
Sweet adoration. I thought I had made a mistake.
No.
And she,
well, let's just say it's your defining aha moments.
There you go. Yeah,
There
by
we
the time, yeah, if I had it sitting in front of me because somebody took it and I would have it right on my desk, but instead I didn't want to look down. But Yolanda, how are you?
I am super fantastic. We're here. It's wonderful. I'm in great health. What can I say? I'm just grateful.
I have been to your beautiful home in Sugarland. It is quite obvious that you and Raymond pursuing a network marketing business wasn't like the normal person who was at the end of the rope. They had to do it. You two had a great life, but you love this profession and the people it touches so much that you have dove into it and really redefined so much about it that I love you. And I know that we can get you and Raymond on a show and show people what it looks like with couples, but doggone it, Yolanda, you are a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to stop doing the talking. Talk about how on earth you and Raymond, with such successful lives, got into this profession and why.
Okay, so I'm going to have to tell you this. It was my husband that got us into this profession. Yolanda was one of those individuals that was kind of like, what? No, what is that?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm happy doing what I'm doing in corporate America, loving my work. You just do your own thing. And then I was smart enough to start doing some research because he kept talking to me about it. And then so he got to work and he got what we call thank you checks. And I'm like, oh, that was really nice. Because I think the first check that he got, he did nothing. And it was like $3 and something. And he said, at least we know it works. And I'm like, yeah, okay, it works. So then he got another check the following week and it was like $500. And then they just kept increasing. So I said, you know what? You might want to put my name on that agreement. You might just want to do that. And then I started getting more information, started doing my research. And then I saw back then, it showed when network marketing, folks that got into it, that really got serious about it, it created more millionaires than any other industry. And the fact that it was about relationships and it truly was about people helping people. And as we say, giving them that hope, helping other people every day, I really began to step back. And then I asked my husband, I asked Raymond, I said, so tell me, why did you want to do this? You have your own business, you worked on Wall Street. So just tell me why. And he says, when I closed the doors at our business, we owned a computer and office supply company, our income stops. And if you stop working where you're working, at that time, a Fortune 500 financial services company, he said, your income stops. Yeah, you get bonuses and incentives and all of that, but if you're not there, it stops. So I wanted to create something for our family where we have a residual income. And that means as long as folks are buying products each and every month, and we're out here doing what we can do to help build them, to help them with their conditions, or to help them financially if they want to also supplement their income. That's what I'm looking for. I do want to do something that most people laugh at when you hear them say it. I do want to make money while I sleep, because we can talk to people all over the world. And so I stepped back, and it made a lot of sense. Each year in corporate America, I was telling folks I was letting people go. And I knew that those tables could turn at any moment, any moment. And what was I going to do? What was I going to do? So we believe in sidepreneurship, having something on the side that's yours, that can eventually be the only entrepreneurship thing that you do if you choose to do so. But you got to be willing to work. So then, as the story goes, we continued in the industry, and we are still in this industry. And it's been like 25, 26 years now, simply because of that one thing. And that's creating a residual income and helping other people to do the exact same thing so that you can have something of your own. And the only way that this does not work is one letter. It's called network marketing. And you change that E and replace it with the O, it's not work marketing. And that is the only way that it does not work. So that's why. That's the story. That's how we got involved. Now, I can tell you how we got to longevity, if you would like to hear that piece.
That's not necessary. It's kind of a generic show, so we'll stay away from that particular part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the middle of you being in the middle. And what you guys do, I mean, as you've been in this business, and this happens all the time, you've actually chastised me on this on many occasions over the years with, Tom, a consistent system done on a regular basis wins the day, and get everybody following that consistent business is what's going to make the difference between winning and losing over the long haul. You still happen to believe that, right?
I still happen to believe that, and the reason why I happen to believe that is that with anywhere you go,
right,
the company that you're with, any company outside of network marketing, any industry that you're in, they have a system. And that's the one thing that everybody needs to have in order to be successful. You have to have a process or something that you're going to follow each and every day. If you don't have that, what are you going to do? And particularly if this is something that's in addition to a person's full-time role, then yes, they need to have a system, and they want to make sure that that system is one in which we're going to show you how it's done and done the right way so that you're not rejected, but we're also going to show you how you can have some fun in the process. This does not need to be another job. This does need to be something of your very own in which you can work and have fun doing so.
When I've come down to Sugar Land, Texas, I have watched you guys embrace a group of people at a level that's unbelievable, not only with awards, but barbecues at your house, parties. Every week you do something called a healthy happy hour or happy healthy hour, one of the two. I always get it confused. And you are just keeping those people inside of that circle of love and communication and community. And that's what's held you guys so strong over the time I've been involved with you, that your not reputation, the fact of the matter of your business in a giant company, it is your organization that leads the pack in retention year in, year out. And I think it's because of the love of the people that does that, right?
I think it's the love of the people first and foremost. And I think having the love of the people and following a system is what really works. So yes, if you really give a person a place where they belong, and whether they want to be someone that uses your products, or whether they want to be someone that will share a little bit when they can, and be that evangelist, as we may call them, or if it's someone that really wants to get in there and make it happen and make this part of who they are, and I want to replace my income, or I just want to be bigger at something that's my own. It doesn't matter. Love them all. Honor them. Because them has a role in which we will, in the opportunity, each of them have a role. So you have to honor them wherever they are and whatever they choose to do.
Yeah, and here's what she's saying. Most days, I think this is what you're saying. Most days, people aren't exactly where you want them to be. They are on their journey, and it gets frustrating because they said they wanted to build a business and then they aren't doing it, and we get madder than heck at them and want to kick them out of the company or kick them out of our circle or out of our life. That's me. And instead, what I've learned from the Browns is they are right where God's got them. And my job and their job and what they do very, very well, and which creates that retention, is although they are saying you've got so much more in the tank, they also train those people up to that level versus maybe shame them out of into another opportunity. And I think that I look over a few people that you've got that you have done just such an incredible job of mentoring, loving, guiding, and showing them literally your feet, showing them what you do. And I think that's the most important part, don't you?
Absolutely. I think that's the most important part. People do want to feel safe, and we do want to work with them where they are. And the a way in which you can do that is to make sure that you're listening to them and understanding why they are doing what they do. And we have to listen to what people do, not just what they say, but what they do, and encourage them and keep moving them forward. Even though you may not think that they're doing what they say that they're going to do, that I'm really going to work this business, and they're not on the calls all the time, and they're not doing what they should be doing and working with their team, honor them and love them anyway. And you will begin to see that they will see that it's not about the money here. They truly do care about me. They truly do want to see me successful. And as long as I can do some of the right things most of the time, then I'm going to be okay. This is not a sometime business. It is a part-time business. And that's what we have to do in this industry, is work with people where they are, love them where they are. But you also have to be very frank and honest with them. If they aren't doing what they should be doing in order to be successful, you can't not tell them the truth, but you can show them the truth in a way in which they understand.
Yeah.
And it's going to build them up instead of tearing them down.
So Yolanda, talk a little bit about what your system looks like, and especially because I think this is the thing, right? Like, on the one hand, you like no work, no results. And on the other hand, you're meeting a lot of people who at the beginning don't have a lot of time to give to this thing, maybe don't have a lot of, self-belief or self-drive or what, they don't know how to be an entrepreneur. They haven't done it maybe. So what does it look like? What does the system look like, especially for maybe that person who isn't the one who is, just wanting to pound down the doors, but somebody who's trying to figure it out kind of in the gaps in their life?
Right, well, great question. With our system, it's two-pronged. We have a path, if you will, or a process for that individual that wants to really build a business.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that part of our system, and we show them all of the ropes as far as from making the right approach and building that relationship, getting their story right, and also showing them how they can create that residual income as far as the compensation is concerned. But making the first step in who are they going to be talking to and making that list of names. So that's that individual that really wants to work the business. Now, for those that may not, or let's say they may, but they really don't, or they just don't.
Yeah.
We have a path for them. We basically also will say to them, you may not be interested in doing this as a business, and that's okay. But if there are some people that you would like to share with, let's do so. So perhaps you can earn enough to where you're paying for your product every month if you choose to do so. But if not, this is the path in which you will take. We do these calls on Thursday evening, and where you can hear some live testimonials, and you can bring others if you like, but this is strictly for you to know how the product works, and you may hear someone that may have the same condition that you may have. And then here's my number. Here's also the number to the company, and then you can definitely call me first for anything. Otherwise, you can always call customer service. But I'm here to support you. Then we're going to ask for permission. Is it okay? I know you're not just interested in building the business, but is it okay if I call you every 30 days just to check up on you to see how you're doing? I can even just text you if that's okay. And then that's how you continue to keep the follow-up with the people that's on your team. And that's where I think why we have the retention rate the way it is.
Yeah.
It's because we connect with people. And every week I'm sending those that are very, very active in the business a text, and those that are not, I'm still sending the text to let them know that we care.
That's a huge thing. And how often, do people, there's all this, maybe there's a lot of excitement, maybe there's a lot, you're getting a lot of attention or whatever it is from this person who is a leader or who's recruiting you or whoever that is. And you finally kind of jump through. Now you're kind of on the other side and suddenly it's a ghost town. And no, unless you're hitting the cover off the ball, suddenly they've disappeared on you and you're going, I don't know what to do. I don't know where anybody went. I don't know what's going on. And so to be the antidote to that and to be that person that has that kind of consistency around it is a huge thing.
So aha moment, defining your aha moments is a great book, but I think I know my way around the network marketing track pretty well, and I've read a lot of books, and it astounds me that Raymond and Yolanda are so known not for only for their retention, but their love of a guest that's been on this show with Michael Oliver, and they use this incredible book that I want you all to write down the name of the book, and then I want you to contact Yolanda about your impression of this book, because it has made these guys internationally successful. And, I read everything in the world and I retain none of it. They treated this book like a textbook. And what I love is a few of my friends, not even in their organization, did the same thing, and they're generating similar results. Talk about that book a little bit, because it just shows me your consistency. And, I listen to everybody and I send people down blind alleys all the time. You don't do that because you are a true pro. Talk about that.
Oh, well, thank you for calling me a true pro, but I've got a lot more to learn. But I received that. I will accept that from you. The book is amazing. And because the end all be all in this business, the beginning and the end is the approach. So when we first got involved, and I will give you the name of the book in just a moment. When we first got involved, we saw that people were doing some of the same things and just throwing stuff up against the wall, giving out different brochures, and at that time, CDs or whatever it was. And people were joining, but then they were quitting. And so it was, you're never going to have a business if you're constantly having to replace people each and every month. The fact of the matter is we wanted that residual income. So that means that we want to be more consistent and keep people as long as we can if the product works, if you believe in the management team, and if you believe in the leaders in the field. So that's what we looked at. But we were just like everybody else. That's what we were taught.
Right.
Tell your story and get them in, and and that's it. But then one day, our chiropractor, we were visiting him, and he's also a business partner, and he was saying, you guys got to read this book. And we were like, we read all of these different books, and Raymond was there with him and said, I've never saw this one before. How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear, Anxiety, or Losing Your Friends by Michael Oliver. And so we got the book and we both started reading it, and we both looked at each other and was like, my God, it's all about them. It's not about my story. It's about them. And that really just got to us and said, just hold up. We don't have to do all these major presentations. We just have to get them all involved in the process. And that's how the Happy Healthy Hours was born, because we just sit and we talk to people and we bring them in, just like we do on our call on Thursday evening. We're bringing them in. They're telling their story. And if the person that we're talking to, as we make that approach, if they don't qualify, And we ask them questions about the past. It's in the book about the present. How did how long have you been, I don't know, let's just use a condition. Or no, let's just use you're looking for to start your own business. You want to be that entrepreneur. And well, how long have you been looking for a business opportunity? What type are you looking for? And if someone says, when you ask the question, what type are you looking for? And they say, well, I'm looking to make $300 every week. Then they're looking for a job. So this isn't for them. So they don't qualify. So we don't even bring up the fact that we have an opportunity. So, but we keep in touch with that person, but we know that this isn't the right moment. So, and then you talk about the present, what's going on right now. If they say, well, I'm looking for something that I can just work when I want to work it, and I'm going to get paid when I'm whatever the work that I do, then you would ask them, well, what does that look like? And so what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Now they qualify. So that book changed our lives. And that's when we felt we could approach someone, we could talk to someone, we were never rejected. Follow-up calls, it was fantastic because we knew we made the right approach. So we were looking forward to following up with the folks because all they were going to tell us, we were just going to ask them one question: what did you like best about what you heard, what you read, what you saw, whatever it was that we gave to them. And then the conversation would move from there. So there was no fear. There was no anxiety. And we didn't have to worry about being a part of the NFL club. Friends left.
Yeah.
So we knew that that's what we were looking for. When we got it, that was our answer. And then we just started sharing it with the team and others. And that was it. We just wanted everybody to know, if you choose to go this path, if you choose not to have rejection, then this is what you can do.
Wow. Is Michael Aller on the show watching?
He might be soon. He's my buddy.
Oh, that's pretty. Adrian just popped him up and told him to hop on because he's getting talked about, which is really, really cool. So I want to segue this.
If he does pop on, I want to say thank you.
Yeah. So well, I'll tell you what, he should say thank you to you. You sold 1 million books for the guy. But I want to take this now. So you decided to write this book that you wrote around stories and success stories and people that have really, really done it. Talk about your book, why you wrote it, where people can find it, and let's get you in that million copy club too. So talk about that a little.
Okay, so we all say that we have a book in us. And I'm like, well, my book, the first one that I wanted to write, I wanted it to be about other people and their stories and how they ended up on the other side very successful. But there was this thing that they may have gone through that most people would have just said, no way, I'm not gonna even go through it. Just let it happen. But they dealt with it, moved forward with it, and that challenge made them much stronger. So, and I wanted to incorporate stories from all walks of life, from network marketing to abuse, to career transitions, to love, relationships, all of that, because I wanted to touch just about everyone to let them know that we're all in here. And then there was this whole section, I would say chapters about personal growth, personal development. So I wanted all of that in the book because I said I may not ever write another one. So, and that would be very, very good. So your defining aha moments is simply about that. It's about all the different walks of life that people have and the challenges that they've gone through. Chapter 6 is one of my favorite ones. And then and then chapter 10, say a prayer. Chapter 6 is what's your BS. But chapter 15 is my favorite chapter, and that's doing you and being you. Because that's where we all get lost. We attempt to want to be like everybody else, but we all have these talents within us. And if we would just focus on us, then we're going to make sure that that light that we so shine is going to give someone else more hope. So that's what your defining aha moments is all about. What is defining you? What are you allowing to define you? Is it a moment, or is it a day? Or could it be a year? When did you really realize that you could step into being something or doing something more for your life? And as a result of it, it affected the lives of so many others in a positive way. So that's what your defining aha moments is all about. And then it pulls in different stories from authors that I read about that was part of my growth, part of my getting beyond wanting to just be someone that could make a difference to being someone that is making a difference and being a change agent. So that's why I wrote the book. And then from that book, a workbook came. And then from that workbook, a contributing author to Coaching Gurus International, to When Black Women Lead, to one that's coming out in August, Legacy. So that it just kind of morphed into it, but it was part of who I am. And I wanted people to know that they too have a lot within them. Their story may seem small to them, but it brings out a lot of glorious words of wisdom in others.
Talk about Martin Luther King and what you do every year and how big a deal that is to you. It's unbelievable what you do. I'm there every year. I sometimes get to speak on there with you, but the people that you brought to that call, like Martin Luther King, the number one, the son of, and Coretta Scott King and Phil Oliver, the people you brought that are like really, really, really change agents on this planet, as are you. It's important stuff, and you are keeping the light on it, which I appreciate, especially in this day and age of people and dissension and actual hate makes me crazy. You're unifying people, and I appreciate that.
Well, you pretty much said why we do it. And it's because of that unification and the fact that what he has done in our lives. I was young when a lot of what he was doing was happening, but it was a reflection of what was happening in order for me to be a better person and to have a better life. So we don't want that to go on. We don't want that to stop happening and people not to realize that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made a difference in this world by allowing us so many different things. The Voting Rights Act, the civil rights, the being able to do some of the things that we are able to do. The reason why affirmative action and DEI was born, unfortunately, they had to make a law in order for people to hire outside of how they felt, or who they felt comfortable with. Nobody was asking anybody for favors. We were just asking for the simple fact to let us show you that we can do the job. We can do what is needed to be successful. But if we have to have a playing field, and it was not one. I'm a product of affirmative action. I know that I was hired into corporate America because of that law. But once I got there and they saw that I could do the job, it went out the door. So unfortunately, it had to be a law. And unfortunately, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King lost his life for the simple fact of trying to do what was right and trying to do it in an orderly manner of love and not hate. Then yeah, we will forever keep that out there as far as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day and what he really stood for and how he has affected and continues to affect the lives of so many people. And we can't let that die because the dream will live on. I do want to be judged by my character and not the color of my skin. And I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. But I do want them to know that people paid the price in order for us to be where we are now. And the only way that we continue that, because if not, it's going to be hidden as they're trying to do now to hide as much about that as possible, then we have to be the folks, we have to be the change agents to make that happen. And yeah, you do get an opportunity to share with us and to speak with us because your story of how what he may have said Maybe it was just the I Have the Dream speech that affected your life, or maybe it was something that you read, a quote that he said that made a difference in your life. So yeah, we definitely will continue to have Tom and Denise Chenault on the call, because they too bring a lot of dreams to the table and helping a lot of folks' dreams come true.
So by now,
we started. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just. I'm sorry. Let me just tell you how we started it very quickly. We started it by we were in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and we were talking about doing a big event, and it was around Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And so this young lady there said, well, why don't we can do it during that day. So we invited the city, the mayor, all the city officials, and other dignitaries, pastors, to this event that we were having in Goldsboro, and it was called I Have a Dream. And we had a doctor to come in to talk about everything and the different ways in which we can keep ourselves healthy. So we did that. And that first meeting, the very first meeting that we had over 800 people there, and the newspaper came in, the radio stations came in, and in one day, that young lady was able to reach a different level and to do some things in her community that she would not have been able to do. But that one event changed her life, changed her business, and touched so many other lives there in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
So what you guys have to be seeing right now is this woman belief in herself, in everything that is wonderful, and in network marketing, and the bigger picture called love on this planet. And I'm going to wind her up right now. She doesn't know. I'm going to blindside her with this question. What do you think about fucoidan?
Well,
so the audience has never even heard that word. And so we're not tying it to a product. I want you
I got it.
Registration, a little research, but this woman is no spring chicken. And when you meet her husband, he isn't either. And they are the most healthy, most vibrant, most giving, most positive people you're ever going to meet. And I will lay you odds right out of her mouth right now. It's going to say God, fucoidan, and everything else. So go ahead and talk about that. I'm giving you permission.
Wait, okay, so here's the deal. I will always be a spring chicken. I don't care from 80 years.
There you go. I was just you pointing it out.
I will always be a spring chicken. Okay. Okay. So, but I do give credit for God for giving me the common sense to take a look at network marketing, and the common sense to be willing to know that there are some great products out there. And fucoidan just so happens to be a main ingredient where you can go look for the research. You can go to pubmed.gov.
Or they can call you.
Or they can call me, yes. And we'll make sure you get the phone number. Call me or text me, but whatever you choose to do. But you will see that there are over 3,000 studies on fucoidan. And that's on the National Library of Medicine, pubmed.gov. And you may not understand all of the research because it is in medical terms, but if you want to know something specific about any condition that you're thinking about, you can also key that in. It's there. Every man, every woman, and every child can use fucoidan. That's what's so great about it. It misses no one, and it works at the cellular level. And everybody on this earth, if they are human, have cells, and it works at the cellular level.
Last I heard, yes.
Yeah, the last I heard. So that's why we get so excited. And yes, my name could happen. It could actually be Yolanda fucoidan Brown. Yeah. It could actually be that. Yeah.
So you found a life-changing product, and I'm just telling all of you this. She loves Martin Luther King. She loves this world. She loves love. She loves God. And she loves this fucoidan. I can't even say it. And she's so passionate about all of that. All she had to do was go figure out a way to make a living at it, which was what you've done. And every one of these people have got the ability to do that if it starts with their belief level, and they haven't got it on themselves, they haven't got it in anything. The name of the game is text Yolanda and just see what makes her tick, so you can get to what makes you tick. And that's what is defining your aha moment is all about. And then you go to Michael Oliver's book and you get the groundwork to be able to take that belief level into something absolutely material that might change your life, right?
Absolutely. Then you got to add one other thing in there that I love. I love my husband. So you got to add that one
I
in
forgot
there.
about Raymond. Yeah. We're going to get him on. You never met. I mean, he is, every time I'm on calls, and I look like I went through the robo wash with the window open, and everybody knows that. When you see Raymond and Yolanda, I don't care when it is, they are dressed for the big game. They are prepared for the big game. They live their life because it's that important to them. And for that, I'm just completely appreciative, because you make everybody look better and you raise the standard of what people need to reach to get to in order to reach their goals. So you just walk your talk, and I love that. So few people do.
Well, we do our best to make that happen, Tom, because, you want to be that example. It's one of my favorite quotes is don't let other people listen to your advice and ignore your example.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And the fact is, let me just add this about according, because I want people to understand this. And whatever you do in life, and you can talk to anyone in this industry. You can talk to Tom, you can talk to Adrian, and anyone that that's in this industry that's working it the right way. If you have something that is unique, you feature it. Facordin is unique, and we are featuring it. And that is what makes a difference. When you have something that way, then you know that you will succeed. So all I'm saying is take a step back and realize that uniqueness cannot move anywhere or go anywhere without one unique possibility. And that's you realizing that you have something that's unique and you feature it.
So inside of that,
yes,
you're out there in the world and you're looking at network marketing and you're looking at all the stuff out there. All of a sudden it goes from one fad to the next. It goes from collagen over to natural GLP-1, over to this, over to that. But what you've done ever since I've known you is stayed true to that book and stayed true to that product. And it's worked out because that has been the foundation that people can count on from you versus getting run down a blind alley. Even though you tell people to take all that other stuff, you are 100% centered on that. I love you for that.
Well, you know why? And it's simply because of one thing. People want to see consistency, and it's part of our system.
Yeah.
Our system basically says that, again, you find something that's unique, you feature it. You can have a whole lot of other stuff coming at you, but you never get off point as to what is something that every man, every woman, and every child can talk about. You don't ever get off point. When you start getting off point and start going in all these different directions, you lose your focus. You also lose your income.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you're doing something that you believe in. So it doesn't matter. The people can come out with something brand new that's just absolutely shaking the world up. We'll tell people about it, but our focus is going to be on Facordin.
And to all the listeners, get that kind of monomaniacal focus on something. Inside, I'm not making anybody wrong about any of the stuff, collagen, all the stuff. I love it all. And but when you change your every week because of the idea of the week, you're probably diluting your message. And what I love about you and Raymond is nothing ever changes. It is just consistency, communication, community, and love. And that's what we find when we look you up in the dictionary. Those words, your picture pops up. We can't thank you to enough. Buy the book. Where do they go buy Aha Moments? You're defining aha moments. Where do they go buy that book?
They can go to Amazon.
Okay.
and they can just in the search bar, or they can put in books, You're Defining Aha Moments, Yolanda Ellerbe Brown, and you can purchase it there. And I would thank you to do so. I really do appreciate that. Make it a bestseller.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you will not, and she's coming out with more stuff. So
Yeah.
you've texted her, get on her. She's the best. There's just nobody like her. There's nobody like Raymond. I love them both. Who do we have next week?
We have Peter Mingles.
We have a problem because I'll talk about Mingles. I can't get out of this chair because of my injury, and we have to show her the present we're sending her.
All right, I got that.
So I hurt my knee from the car wreck, and so something just popped up in the middle of the night. I can't walk. So that's kind of crummy. So I got to get some fucoidin or something. But here's the deal. See this sweatshirt?
Yes, I see it.
And love more.
Yes.
Or Fire Your Brain, Hire Your Heart. The sponsor of the show is NowSite. So Michelle Griot is sending both you and Raymond a sweatshirt. So we love you and thank you for coming on, man. You're famous and this is beautiful. And Kathy Rickley, thank you for popping up at the very end. The ANMP at the end of the month is in Dallas. The tickets, the 5-star hotel's $149 a night. If you go on the website, it's $400. So you got to use the ticket block, and the discounted tickets are like $400 a piece, and I have a few of those. So if any of you guys want to buy a cheaper one, call me, and if I have any left, I'll be happy to sell one to you. But I think that is the best event in network marketing generically that you could spend your money on. So think about that too. Yolanda, Peter Mingles. Peter Mingles used to be on the board of the Association of Network Marketing Professionals with me. And all kinds of crazy, it used to be just the wild, wild west, and all kinds of crazy stuff ended up happening. He left that board, but he ended up out in the world as like just a fighter for justice in network marketing against those people that don't like it. And he is so loud that it will be a risky show next week because he's going to bring the rain and fight for this profession, which needs fought for. And so I'm bringing him in. I'll keep him under control, I think, but it is going to be a barn burning show next week, just like this one was. Yolanda Brown, we love you. We love Raymond. We love what you stand for. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
You are beautiful.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.